Everybody, welcome back to Stocks Planning. I'm Moneyman Cam, joined here with Eddie, and we are going to be going over some of our top stocks to watch on our watch list. Now, we want to give a quick disclaimer. Right now, obviously, there is a developing situation in China with Evergrande, and we are monitoring that closely. So we're actually going to go ahead and start with a little bit of index overview, and then we'll jump into the picks.
So we'll first take a look at the S&P 500 today. We've been in this uptrend channel since back in April of 2020. And ever since then, we've come down to test it once, twice, three times. Looks like total of three times. But this last time, we did break below. We opened today below the channel. And we did break down below on increased bearish volume, which kind of makes it even more interesting. We did come up and try to recover and try to regain, but failed to regain the support level. And so tomorrow looks like the futures are green so far, but this might be a dead cat bounce, what we call a dead cat bounce, where we have a little rally, comes back up to resistance, but it's not able to regain or get back in its pattern, and it comes down and gets rejected again. There are some support levels down here. We have, well, this is still kind of testing, but if it fails here, the 43.67, then we'll be looking at 42.38 to 42.57 as our next support range. If we go and move on to the NASDAQ, we see here that we are testing. This one is still in its channel. We do have this uptrend channel here where we came down and tested it here, and we are holding above this, above its support. We did open below the 50 moving average, but we are holding above the channel. But it is something that we want to watch. If we start to close and fall below the channel, then we know that we're in more of a bearish tone than if we start moving up, but maybe kind of move sideways here along the support, and that's a little bit more of a bullish signal here. It would be an indication of maybe buying a dip here on the NASDAQ. Just to recap, we did have a watch list yesterday, and we'll go through those real quick. ACGT, we talked that it was in this trading range, and we were close to breaking out yesterday. Unfortunately, and it was probably had a lot to do with the market as well, but we did not break this resistance level. So this is probably looking more like a short possibility coming down, and see if we can get it down here, down at the 50 or the 200 moving average, or even down below here at 525, the bottom of the range support. ASD, we were looking at this cup and handle. We did also come down, and we are testing. We did not break below the handle, so this is still a valid pattern. So, but it's no longer close to breaking out. So we'll keep an eye on that. ASX did open below this, our ascending triangle here. We are opening below it. So the next support level is going to be around 812, which is a support level that I believe goes back way back. There we go. Back to support. Now is all resistance from back in 2015. So we'll keep an eye on that and see if that $8, around $8 low, 8 holds. AUW, we talked about this being in a descending triangle. We did come down and test the support level. We did not break it. We did stay above it. So if we continue to move along this $4 as support, we might be able to ride this back up to maybe the 50 moving average, or back up here to triangle resistance. CHPT did not break in its support level around 1959. If it comes down, even though we did have a market that moved down quite a lot, or over 2% or over 3%, depending on which one you were looking at, we did not move that much on this one, where that means that sellers are exhausted. So if we keep holding this support level, this might be a pretty good entry. So we'll continue to monitor as well. CLSK. CLSK, same thing. We came down, did not move very far. We're still holding this PRZ, which is the potential reversal zone, sitting at about $10.22. So if we continue to hold above here, this might be also a good entry for us. We'll continue to keep that on watch. Let's see. Lumen Technologies also did not move. Actually, it ended up being a green day for Lumen. We did open below yesterday's candle, but we did come back and recover pretty well. So this is still looking pretty strong. So it's nice to see this nice quality stock. Some of these stocks are pretty quality or have really nice setups. And so even with the market pushing down, they don't move very much because there's either a very sentiment or sellers are exhausted. On NVTA, I did notice today that we do have a small inverse head and shoulder that's forming that gives our reversal more of a bullish signal here. And so this one might be, we might be able to take an entry if it starts pushing above this neckline right here around 3270. So it's something to keep an eye on. PLTR, we did fall below. We were thinking about adding up here at 2750 and up here down here at 2688 support, but we ended up not adding because both of those started to fail and we actually finished below. So now what we're looking at is maybe a possibility of this coming down to test the 200 moving average or the 50 simple moving average, or down here down at a triangle support. And if it holds, then we might be able to take a position up, our position down here. QRCH did not break below its head and shoulders, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. See if we break down below it with the red market, might give us a nice push to the downside. SPX, same thing, pretty red day, but support is down here at about 290, so we'll see if we can come down here to around $293 and maybe scalp a position here and maybe write it back up. SPCE, same thing, red day, but it was able to stay above its support level at 306. We'll stay on top of that as well. TDOC still above its support level, or we might be able to, if it holds 129 again, we might be able to get some pretty good a pretty good price on that one as well. TWLO, we did have did open below and we did come down on some pressure. We did close below here the pattern. However, it's not far off on these things. You got to give it some wiggle room. Like on this one, we pierce below. We hit pierce below. This one we open below. So this one doesn't mean that the pattern is broken. Our stop loss is still down here around 330. So it's still looking pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see. If it's to fail, we definitely are going to want to take profits on that if you haven't already, or cut it for a small loss. ZM, same thing, did not break its support level even though we had a red day, and it came back to close green. So a very bullish signal down here at 273 support. mRNA, I know we were playing this to the downside at one point as well with this double. With this, after this, it wasn't able to close here. This is turning into a triangle, but could very well be a double top here if we come down and test this neckline and break below it. So it's pretty green day today. Was able to stay above the support level here. So if this breaks to the upside, it could be a good long. If it breaks to the downside, it could be a good short. We'll see where it goes. And that's the last one on our list.
Yeah, so definitely it is an interesting week so far. I mean, we had one of the worst drops today since last November, if I'm not mistaken, right? And
that's right.
Really, the thing right now that we're watching is just from a macroeconomic perspective. We're right now observing the impact that this potential fallout in Evergrande is going to have. Now, we were actually discussing this earlier, how analysts at JP Morgan and analysts at Barclays have come out and stated that this is an incident that's relatively isolated to the rest of the world, and it really will just affect China. The thing is, though, these things always have collateral damage. So we always want to be vigilant. I mean, real estate sector in China is huge, upwards of 30% of its economy. And that is actually the most popular form of investment for the common Chinese person. It's actually not stocks. So this could have a very, very big impact on them. And if it does, we can expect ripple effects. So we are watching closely, and we are being very, very picky actually with our positions. But what we're really trying to focus on is two things. Number one, if we can trade to the downside, we'll trade to the downside so that way we can raise cash and use that cash to then invest with our long-term picks. So our long-term picks are going to be the ones that have excellent fundamentals, and they are hopefully either starting to reverse from a bearish pattern, or if they are still in a bearish pattern, then we will just watch them closely and we will be ready to pounce when the time is right. These opportunities that don't actually come up very often. So when they do, we definitely want to be doing our homework, doing our research, charting, and having a plan of action. So I think it's going to be a volatile next couple of weeks, but I think it could also be poised to give us some very, very exciting opportunities to go long on those long-term fundamental picks.
That's right. Totally. And I like that plan. I like that we're implementing that plan about raising cash on the downside, and that way we're able to invest in our long terms, because ultimately, you know, that's kind of the goal, is building a nice size portfolio that's going to keep paying you in the future. Exactly.
And actually, even today, so I've personally been in the process of actually rebalancing my portfolio. I want to have, you know, some more of my long-term picks and some less of others. So what I've actually started to do is, you know, the picks that I am pretty profitable on, I've actually started slowly scaling out of, especially ones that I don't see having much more upside. Because really the matter is we always want to find the faster horse, right? So just having that cash on the side, being patient, letting the chart speak to you, getting to know the chart, and having that macroeconomic background is critical, and it will really, really jumpstart your portfolio and help you get the best gains possible.
Exactly.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to subscribe if this content was of value to you, and turn on the notifications. We will be posting pretty frequently. Expect multiple videos per week. We will be doing much more analysis of markets. If you guys like this content, if you guys are interested, we may even be doing live streams in our Discord where we will go over charts live. So make sure you guys are in the Discord so you guys can get access to that and really pick our brains, ask any questions. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Our Instagram handle is Stocksplaining. Follow us on Twitter. And we hope you have a great rest of your day and happy trading. Take care.
Take care.